to these people. Yeah, it's gonna shut down whether I want to or not. So, what we can do while we're waiting to do all of this, we've been through this today already.
Just twice.
Just twice, yeah. They did it to my computer this morning when I turned it on. And you have no choice. They will shut you down. Doesn't matter what's going on. Okay, what we usually do is we open the meeting with introducing new people. And I know we got at least one new person, because he just joined only about an hour ago. So, don't be afraid. Stand up. I'm Roger Mann. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the safety officer, and somewhere is Bob Pierce, who's the manager. Where'd he go? Oh, he's sitting holding a place he never sits in. Okay, so John, you must be in charge tonight. Okay, John Law, who's our chief flight instructor. He still is our chief flight instructor. We haven't fired him yet. Okay, now, new people. Go ahead and stand up and introduce yourself.
I'm Mark Caserti, just joined today.
Give us a little background on who you are.
I've been flying about, legally flying about 12 years, 14 years. Third generation pilot in the family. We teach out of John Wayne. The only 172s, PA-28s, and Cirrus and things like that. But I look forward to flying some T-34s and a little more 182 time.
Well, that's good. We need. Oh, he is a CFI also, but he's got a real job flying someplace else. So. Okay. All right. Thanks. Boy, we got some more people that have been here for a long time that just walked in.
Who are they?
I know. No, we ought to introduce them as new people. Maybe I don't know.
I think her name's Janelle, right?
Well, Janelle and yeah. Well, you don't have to cover your face. Okay, is there anybody else that's new, brand new? I mean, never been here before other than just, I don't think so. I think we got everybody. Okay, one of the things that we do, okay, I still got 2 minutes. This is, you know what? If there's a way I can shut, the problem is if I shut it down manually, it won't count it. And it'll make me go through all this again later. They do have one where you can sit there and it says shut down now, but this is not that one.
It's already a minute.
I know. I tell you, this I'm really tired of this. Okay. All right. Now, has anybody just recently gotten anything like a new pilot's license, solo for the first time, hasn't flown for about 3 years? Things like that. Anything that's new, that includes Air Force too. That doesn't mean just Aero Club. Yeah, Cody. Anything like a recent check ride or anything?
I converted my military IP to a CFI.
Oh, okay. That's significant. Definitely.
Multi-engine or single engine land also?
So I have it's a CFII only because I don't have a single engine, not even a single engine military rating. So I just got the
Multi-engine.
Multi-engine. Yeah, multi-engine one.
So you could go the other way. They had it on.
It doesn't really deserve a round of applause. All I did was go to the FAA and bring them a bunch of paperwork, and they send me something in the mail that says I'm an instructor.
We had to take a test, right?
Yeah, you were dealing with the FAA, and
That's true. That deserves another round of
applause.
applause.
Yeah. You made it out of the building. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody got violated or anything like that? That's worth a while. Okay, Joan, I know for a fact that you can mount something about your own airplane.
Oh, my check rides?
Yeah, well, your check rides and being able to be allowed to fly the airplane now from the left seat.
You have to check with the check pilot first.
Yeah, the check pilot
I'm
is her
going through the
husband.
most important check ride.
Yeah.
Husband check ride.
Husband check ride.
So I can fly our airplane.
And they got a nice airplane too, I'll tell you. All right. Okay, George, I know you got yourself a nice airplane.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, how is it, is it funner to fly than ours?
It's got more horsepower.
I know it's got more horsepower.
Yeah, what kind of motor you got now?
Rotex.
Rotex, gee. Yeah.
He's got Rotex with rubber bands.
Okay, is there anybody that has any experiences they want to talk about? George? Especially flying a new airplane, or not new, but you know, new for you. Now, I know I've heard some things going on, but, you know, come on, share with the rest of people stuff that you've seen.
I'll just say today I flew with John to Catalina and it was interesting because it was VFR, but it was a circle of about maybe a half mile around the airport that was VFR. Everything else was sought in the clouds. So it was very interesting to fly in there, be over the clouds, and the airport itself was totally like VFR.
Totally BFR, yeah.
Some of those clouds were close enough to the ground to be called fog, so,
Oh. Yeah,
Mist.
yeah.
it's amazing what fog can do. Yeah, that was, now, it's, well, you belong to a club out there, right? So you didn't have to pay the landing
Yeah.
fees?
Yeah.
That's the way to get around it. How much does it cost to be in the club out
It's
there?
like 140 for the whole year.
Oh, okay.
So I fly there a lot, so it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, you'd have to fly out there quite a bit to make it worthwhile, but, yeah, okay.
What
I
are the
guess-
fees now?
Landing fee is 25 right now, I think.
And then how many per head? It's so dollars so much?
No, I think it's
Like 25 and that's it.
And then it's like, I think it's like 15 overnight.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah, I know.
$5 a head, $10 a head.
Yeah.
I'm normally with 3 other people, and they only charge, before I joined, I charge you for the.
All right, we got the Navy here now. We can really start. Yeah.
I did something kind of new, and I don't know if everyone's aware of this. We've had the FBO down on the south end of the field. I was a little bit surprised at the end of last month. We flew a formation, and 2 of the guys are not Aero Club members, so we had to meet them there to do the briefing. But the interesting thing was they've got a brand new March terminal there. I don't know if everyone's aware of that. It's like a $6 million terminal. And Freeman Holdings, who is running the FBO, have upgraded their name to Millionaire to go with the building, I guess. And I guess another new thing is they have avgas there now too, which is kind of expensive, I think, compared to what we charge or other places. Like it's over $6.06
Holy
a
smokes.
gallon. So
Wow.
there's that. The other thing they have, they're besides nice facilities, they have really nice staff that works there, and I don't think the restaurant is open yet. I put a copy of the menu in the club there, and I think they call it the Jet Cafe or something like that. Jetaway Cafe.
Jetaway, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like very reasonable prices. The menu looks kind of interesting.
We have the menu right there in the club, if you
Yeah,
want to
the
look at it.
access to the access is off of Heacock, not from the base. So it's a little bit difficult to get there, but it'd probably be worth patronizing the place so that we have one more dining option around. I don't.
I mean, you want us to walk over there for a flight? File a flight plan.
Well, you can taxi over there if you're fly away. I guess it'd be a good place to meet people that aren't military if you want to take them flying. And you don't have to worry about escorting them on base. You can pick them up there. They do have a parking fee. For us, they waived it. It might have been because we were doing a memorial flyby. I'm not sure why. But they're very nice people. It's nice facilities. Hopefully the restaurant's as good as everything else they've got. And so it's They've got a brand new ramp, it's off of Taxiway Hotel, I don't even think it's on the airport diagram yet. It's south of the old alert ramp, and it's not in their trailer facility that they used to have down there, so it's not ready, it's very nice. Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay. Anybody else? Right, Murph, do you have, oh, yeah,
I got something too.
Okay.
On the new FBO. If any of your buddies who fly in have any issues while they're not on the FBO's ramp, and they have to shut down and get out of their plane, make sure they're in contact with the tower, because there's been an instance recently where the guy had some, he shut down on the taxiway because the FBO's ramp was closed. They were doing some maintenance on it, and then he couldn't get the plane restarted. He had a magneto problem, so he left the plane there for a couple hours while he went to go get some maintenance help. And the tower looks down there and sees a plane on the taxiway, and gets the cops involved and everything because there's this plane parked on the Air Force taxiway. So just make sure people are communicating with tower until they're all the way on that ramp. And if they have any issues and they're not on the ramp, to let tower know what's going on.
It wasn't filled up with manure or anything like that, was it?
I thought it might have been you, Dave.
No. I would have parked mine on the grass.
okay. Murph, do you have anything from ATC?
About the only thing we're having problems now is with 121.75. If you can't get a hold of anybody on 121.75, just go to the tower frequency. It's been logged out. It should be on the ATIS. If you're VHF only, contact the tower. If you're a military aircraft, you'll still go to the UHF for that frequency. But that's the big issue right now, is just that radio's just gone completely crap.
I got a question on that FBO that they have down there.
Yeah.
The people that are coming in there that aren't on, like I've got a landing permit to land here, but people who are coming in just to go to the FBO, do they have to file to come in?
No. They just fly in and say, we're going to the FBO, and we just let them taxi in there. If they get off at Bravo, there's one issue there. There's no identifier for Gulf when you come off Bravo that direction. So we've had an airplane taxi right by Gulf and make a U-turn down there in the red zone, so that didn't make people real happy. So we keep a closer eye on them now, since there's no Gulf when you get off at Bravo and head that way. You're not supposed to make which is odd. There again, the airport is designed for the big guys. When you get off at Bravo, you're not supposed to turn right onto Alpha, because it's designed for the bigger airplanes. Even though the little airplanes have no issue at all doing that, but
It's just because there's no fillet.
that's another oddity in March.
Now, do you have to file a flight plan to get off the FBO? Just to get here to the
Negative.
FBO, you gotta file.
No, you don't have to file anything. Just come in and say, hey, we're landing and going to the FBO. We just let you go in there when you're ready to go. Don't have to file nothing either. You just take off.
Say if we're going to pick up our passengers down there, we're gonna leave from there, do we have to file, get off of the base to go down to the FBO?
You can just say you want to taxi to the FBO.
Just call ground, or we have to call base ops?
Well, yeah, you still need to go through the airplane procedures of following a flight plan, because we have to know your movement, because you're assigned to the base.
Okay, so we do have to file to get down there.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's a heck of a lot of work just to go to lunch.
that would be, Dave. When you
Yeah.
want to do that, let me know. I'll go with you.
I got a question. Are you saying that the small airplanes are not allowed to turn right onto Alpha from Bravo when they exit the runway?
There's no taxi lines from Bravo onto Alpha.
Are they allowed to do it?
Yes, we'll let you do it.
Okay.
But that's what I'm
Not
saying.
if you're in a
Normally, we tell you
C-17.
make normally when you talk to the local controller, they'll say, when you get off at Bravo, make a right turn on Gulf. Well, we found out there's no sign for Gulf. So that made another issue. But, yeah, there's no reason, especially now they got hotel opened up, not to use Alpha. Like I say, the airport was designed for the bigger jets, so there won't be a taxi line from Bravo into Alpha. So the pilots would have to be semi-familiar with that little quirkiness. If you talk to somebody you know is coming over, just give them a heads up. You want to make your first ride onto Alpha, even though there won't be a taxi line.
Okay, anybody else? Anything official? Okay. And Cody, do you still have anything else that you need to add?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get Bob up here to talk for a minute. A minute.
You got a lot of stuff.
No, a minute.
I'm gonna be real quick. First of all, there's a get well card that's floating around here. Malcolm's wife, if you just keep it passed, went in the hospital for an appendectomy surgery. Evidently, the appendix was quite inflamed to look like the size of a pear, he said. Anyway, so she's not doing real well at this time. So sign the card and I'll take and mail it to their house. I'll get that done tomorrow, so you can just pass it around for Malcolm's wife. Let me just give you a few things. We're looking at 5/5 maybe next Thursday for availability for scheduling. 5/7 we have a test tomorrow with the contractor coming out between 10:30 and 11, bringing all of his equipment. That's the only day he can make it right now for this week. 6/6 November, the 6-cylinder overhaul. All the data's been submitted, so it's gonna go to contractor. We hope we can get it done within 3 months. Talking
5/6,
I beg your pardon,
yeah.
yeah. 03, Jim G has got that thing polished up. It looked like he just came out of the paint shop. Well, I tell you, it's really sparkly. And so that's gonna be up for some test flights by the base commander. We're trying to switch 03 for 6/6 since we've had some issues with battery drainage on 6/6. So I've asked for an aircraft change. He won't make a decision until we come back with some data. Let's see. I got a blue and white, it looks like a little igloo that's in the club that someone left there. So if you know who it belongs to, pick it up. Otherwise, we'll just keep it for a future. And in regards to the radio, we've got dead spots. If you get into an area and you're leaving the gas area where the gas tank is and you get to a dead spot, move another 40 feet and the earth basically will work. The radio will work on 121.75, but there are some dead spots, including the area of the hangar, down where the club members have their aircraft parked. For a flyaway for July, the second or third weekend, are there any recommendations for the second or the third weekend? We want to get back in since we got some nice weather. Go early Saturday morning, go out for breakfast or brunch, have some fun, and then we come back to the Aero Club. Any ideas for the second or the third weekend? How many people want to go in July for flyaway? Okay, I got 1, 2, 3 back there. Anybody else? 4. We'll find some seats. Got another airplane there, so we should have enough airplanes. Okay, now the second weekend or the 30th? The second weekend is going to be right after the 4th of July. So the 4th is on Saturday. That's going to be the 11th or the 18th. How many for the 18th? 18th. Okay, 18th. We're going to do it on the 18th of July. And John, would you have some stuff to say?
Make sure it's not. Thought this would be a good way to get it out to everybody in the club since they got to watch this video initially. I had an individual come in and he couldn't dispatch the airplane because his annual check ride was overdue. You mean I got to get a check ride every year? Yes. So if there's anybody else that doesn't know that, I'm sure everybody else probably does. I thought, and if you got your check ride in the last year too from FAA or DPE, that runs out in 1 year also. Okay. When you do come in to take your annual standards check ride, you've got to do your writtens. Everybody knows that too, right? Well, not everybody, because they've only done 35 questions that are in the standards test. We're required by regulation to have 15 questions added to that. Everybody knows that is the questions for the SOP, right? Now everybody knows. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John.
No marquee, no checky.
Did you guys talk, did you say anything about Emily in the stand meeting yet?
Yes, you talked about it.
You did, okay. We are having another instructor come on board. Her name is Emily Little. Ward and I knew her dad real well, and she's you know, young and climbing up that ladder of becoming a pilot. she's got all the ratings, she's got everything,
Except for ATP.
and she doesn't have an ATP yet, but she's working at ATP, and she wants to be an instructor here though, and probably a lot because her dad flew out of here too. So when she comes on, say if you see her, say hi. Hopefully she can make the next safety meeting here and we can introduce her. Right now the contracts are all being, we got the okay from Mrs. Alexander for the money, so now we just have the contract made out. Okay.
Trying to put a little spice in the club instead of having a bunch of old guys like me.
Yeah.
She's gonna do it. She's
I
a
mean,
little firecracker, so.
John is nice, but, I think I'd rather get checked out with Emily than John. So, all right, real quick, we'll hit the SOPs real quick for one paragraph. Aero Club security. How many know that there's a lock now on that outer gate? I'm sure if you don't, then you haven't been there for a while. Yeah, we got that lock that we were forced to put in. For those of you who join the club, where we will give you the gate key, and I don't know, did we give you today? No, we didn't. So we don't always give the gate key to everybody to join. So that's only an oversight. But
Prove yourself first.
yeah, you got to prove yourself. So you have to pass your first check ride. We've got, everybody should know that the office or flying the airplanes is a 24/7 thing. It's not just only when we're open as an office. We're the academic people. I hate saying that, but then, that's what, we're not the ones that have to be there in order for you to come out and fly. Now, for those of you who are under 200 flying hours or who are not clearing officials, of course, you got to have somebody sign the flight plan. If you're coming out during a period of time like on a holiday, generally speaking, we don't have anybody there in the office, but we do have a lot of people that fly on holidays. And if you do, just let us know ahead of time and we will pre-sign the flight plan so that if you're not a clearing official. Now, all clearing officials should know that you can sign your own self off. We were investigating a little bit the possibility anybody had over 200 flying hours could sign off the flight plan. Elmendorf Air Force Base Aero Club does do that. I did bring it up a couple of times. There was some concerns about it. We don't want to have it be abused, it's,
Then
but
you'll never have another clearing official sign up again.
that's probably part of it, yeah.
We've got some
Yeah.
guys that do it now that don't do clearing officials.
Yeah.
Well over 200 hours not supporting the club.
Yeah, so, I mean, we need to have, somebody, like John, who's our ops officer, and he's the one that's in charge of the clearing officials. And, I know he has a hard time sometimes filling some of those days, and sometimes he has to get somebody in there to do it more than once. And I remember in the old days, we used to just do it one time every quarter. But we did add a few, but there about a year ago, it was really bad. I mean, there was like hardly, everybody was leaving either the club or quitting being clearing officials, so. Okay, so this is what that part of 1.8, Aero Club Security, basically this paragraph is talking about the cipher lock that we have on our outer door. All clearing officials should know what that is and how to get into the office. For those who don't have a way to get into the office to get the keys, we will make some kind of arrangements. Usually what we do is we put the keys to the airplane in the pickup truck that's out there and tell you where to find it. And so if you can't sign yourself off or get into the office, just call us and we'll gladly, get it to you so that you can fly. Any questions on this? Okay, tonight, I'm gonna call, since we're really falling behind, density altitude. Quick review. Indicated altitude is the altitude read off your altimeter when adjusted to the local altimeter setting. I should have John do this, he's the instructor. Calibrated altitude is correction for installation position errors. Pressure altitude is the altitude read from your altimeter when it's adjusted to standard temperature and pressure, which is 15 degrees Fahrenheit and 2992. Density altitude is the pressure altitude corrected for non-standard temperature. Let's see, AIM 7-5-3. You do have performance takeoff charts. Everybody should have that. Did you guys have? Did that come with your airplane when you bought it? Your one, it had everything there. Okay, good. You can use those, and they're a good thing to use. One of the biggest problems with the density altitude is complacency. I thought about showing some pictures. We got some real good pictures that people had a camera out there and took pictures. The most classic one is the one with the A36 Bonanza that took off. I think it was it up at
Mountain area.
yeah, I don't remember. I don't think it was well, shoot, now I can't even think of the lake.
Big Bear.
Big Bear, yeah, well, it wasn't Big Bear, yeah, but anyhow, the guy took off heavily, had 4 people in the thing with all kinds of luggage. And you can see that airplane just taking off, and it wasn't even climbing, wasn't doing anything. He just went right off. He was in the air, but from ground effect, and then he just piled right into a rock at the end, and boom, killed the 2 passengers in the back. I didn't really want to show it because we see enough of those kind of things, although I guess that's a way to get an impact in, because I do have a film on here on something that we're going to do a little bit later, real quick. How does it affect flight? On a hot, humid day, the aircraft will accelerate more slowly down the runway, will need to move faster to obtain the same lift, and will climb more slowly. The less dense the air, the less lift, the more lackluster the climb. It's an interesting word. And the longer the distance needed for takeoff and landing. Basically, you have fewer air molecules when you get up into high elevations and high heat and high everything. And a given volume of air also result in reduced propeller efficiency and therefore reduced net thrust. All of the factors can lead to an accident if poor performance has not been anticipated. Okay. The results of increased density altitude is significantly increased takeoff roll and lower climb rate from the published in the pilot's handbook. Now, okay, I'm not going to go over that. That's the complicated way to do it. If anybody wants to go over this, I'll gladly show it to you. But right now, the simple bottom line is you need pressure altitude. How many here can get pressure altitude? How do you find out what your pressure altitude is? We just talked about it a couple of minutes ago.
Set the 2992.
Huh?
Set 2992.
Yeah, set 2992. And whatever altitude comes out on the needles, that's your pressure altitude. You also need to get the temperature. You can get that off the temperature in your airplane. You have to kind of be careful on that because it depends if the sun's shining on it or not. Air Force would not allow us to calculate temperature off a standing airplane on a ramp at all. And the reason for that is because the temperature we read inside of the jet was ram air, going across it. However, when you didn't have anything else, we did used to do that. I bet you didn't even know that. So sometimes we would use the temperature off that probe, but that was the last resort, and usually made sure that the sun wasn't shining on it. Anyhow, you need the temperature. You can also get that from weather. And now I got up here E6B. How many still use that here? Okay, good. Yeah, I know I use it too. I know not everybody does, but I do. And any expensive device that you may have.
I got a question.
Yeah,
If you call 1-800 Weather Brief, will they tell you the dense altitude at your station? Does anyone experience that? Or?
I'm not sure about weather briefs. I know that they do when they brief it on the most of your automatic weather.
Well, what if you're in a place that doesn't have an ATIS or something, you know, like?
You can't get that from tower.
Yeah, it comes up on the AWAS, it comes up and they tell you what the ACL.
AWAS, or you have to calculate, that's the way I'm doing it.
Okay.
They'll give you.
Murph, did you get that information at the tower?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
So you, if we call you, you can give us the pressure right then.
yeah.
Well, we need the density altitude, really, right?
Yeah, that's the altitude, yeah.
Yeah, we can give you the density altitude.
Density
It's on
altitude,
the,
yeah.
Annual, or the hourly report comes out with the density altitude. Pressure altitude, density altitude's all on there. A lot of times we don't put it on the ATIS, the density altitude, we put the pressure altitude on.
I know that some places on the automatic announcements, they do give you the density altitude, yeah. How many know what this is? And don't say anything, Rich. Okay, yeah, that's a Koch chart. This is probably the fastest way to find out how it affects your airplane, right here. You got the airport temperature on the left side. You got the airport pressure altitude on the right side. You get your ruler or your straight edge, or your straight edge, and run it right across, and that'll give you your percentage to add to your normal takeoff distance. This is probably the fastest way to do it.
What's it called?
Koch chart. C-O-C-H. Yeah. And
This is why people run off the runway at Big Bear, by the way. If you look at that chart right there, you're looking at over 200% increase in your runway run. For 100 degrees, that's 6,000 feet.
And Rich Martindale over there has written articles about it, and the article that he taught, and what can you tell them where to look for that? And,
just go to wildblueyonder.com with hyphens. Wild-blue-yonder.com.
okay, Wild Blue Yonder. I would have put that up here, as a matter of fact, and I didn't even. It was running out of time. So, believe it or not, you cannot believe how many people totally blow this off. It's incredible. Fortunately, a lot of them get away with it, and that makes it even a bigger problem. Because what happens now is that, well, I just took off from a 9,000 feet high runway and had no problem. And then they go and land on a runway at 7,000 feet and run off the end of the runway and can't figure out what happened. There is an outstanding film. Obviously, I couldn't show it here because the film was about an hour and a half long. But it is actually, it's old. It was put together by the FAA back, probably back in the early 60s or so. And he had a Bonanza. He just bought a Bonanza at that time. And the story goes with him taking off from where he lives to go, and he went into Colorado and up in those areas. And that's exactly what happened to him, is that he flew the airplane into one of the super high runways up there just on his vacation and had no problem with getting in and out of there. And then later on, he flew in another runway which was significantly lower in altitude and almost died. And he couldn't figure out why. Well, of course, one thing was the temperature was a whole lot hotter, being it was a lower elevation, and there was a lot of other circumstances involved. And the one, it was at night, it was a lot colder, and it was like a few days before where the temperature, generally speaking, was lower, so he didn't get that same effect. So it took him into that euphoric attitude of like, oh, wow, see, I went into the highest runway here, now I can handle anything below that. And that is not always the case. We did run some things like this on one of our safety meetings when we were still at the auditorium. We did a whole bunch of calculations off of one of the automatic density altitude things that they have, that where you plug in numbers and it gives you back answers. And we were trying to just look at certain temperatures, and it was absolutely amazing how high the runway is. I mean, not the real runway, but the pretend runway. The problem is that the airplane itself thinks it's higher than where you really are. And just think about it. In 172 can get up, I think it's 14,000 feet. I think it's what its ceiling is. I think it's 14.
On a cold day.
On a cold day, yeah, yeah. So, you know, you got to figure, you know, if you get into one of these places and the airplane is like at that altitude, obviously you're going to have some real problems. And if you're trying to take off, that's going to be even more so. But remember this chart. In that article that, you know, Martindale had written, it's got that chart in there. I'd get a hold of it and have it in your books in the airplane. I would. Any questions?
Can you make that line go down to 1,500?
Down to 1,500?
That's where we're at, right?
Yeah, we're 1,500.
Just kind of eyeball it, 100 degrees. It's going to be 100 degrees all week here, right? 90.
Yeah.
It's just eyeball it. It's
It looks
90%,
like, yeah.
90, 95 here in March. So if you're
Yeah.
limited at 600
You need
feet
your
of
eyeball
those little
calibrated.
airplanes, you're flying at 300 right now.
Get your eyeballs calibrated.
So we know about
Lord.
the scary places up high. Sometimes it gets scary here in March.
Yeah.
Little
That's a
airplanes, they can't
60%
climb very
increase.
fast.
I mean, you're talking, yeah.
100%. So double your landing or your takeoff distance and cut your climb in half.
Yeah.
Or better.
Runway 30 can look real short sometimes.
Exactly. It's like nose up,
Yeah.
you're up, and
Yeah.
That's why we have to be two.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Well, we did that one day. Jerry wanted to give me my check ride on a day, and I'm like, dude, it's 100 degrees out. Ah, we'll be fine. Like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you crazy, and we barely made it around to him and back to the
Yeah.
airport 36.
That's because you weigh too much.
We flew over to Paris and circled because it was cold
Yeah.
over the lake, just to get the temperature down so we could come in and land because the propeller was going crazy because it got
Is this the T-34? You're only supposed to weigh like 165 pounds per pilot.
It's a 225 horsepower motor,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that was
Yeah.
a check ride with old, what was it, Steve Martinez or whatever his name is. I saw him come
must
and I
have
was
a
just
can of
doing
oil
the
in
math
his
in my
baggage
head, and that
compartment.
152, and
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I still weighed like 200 back then. He must have weighed 230, 240. I'm looking at him going, there.
Oh, gee.
Don't worry about it. We'll make it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Sure enough, we did. But it was a
Yeah.
whole day.
I did fly.
But that's something to think about for the clearing official guys too. If it's 95, 100 degrees outside, why are you signing that kid's flight plan if he doesn't know exactly what's going on out there?
Yeah.
It's happened.
Yeah.
You know? It's happened at Redlands a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen airplanes do stuff out there. I've seen stuff happen at Cable and at Bracket back in the day. So.
And in Redlands too, remember, if you're taking off on, one way is downhill, the other way is uphill.
Yeah.
So-
There was a girl that tried to take off going up the hill, and she never made it. She made out over the wash, and that was the end of that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's not always up to high. It can be down here too for the little airplanes.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Ward. Yeah, that's, now I've done the C model, T-41C model, and I had Mike DeVolk with me, and you know, it did pretty good because the airplane has that climb prop on it, you know, and the fuel injected engine, you know, but you know, you could feel it. I mean, it was, I'm glad that we have what's the old runway off the end of our short runway. Uh, if you're in doubt, use runway 32. Unless they got a C-17 or the F-16s are going on alert status, they will let you take off from 3-2. That's why we don't have any of the F-16 pilots in here tonight. They're doing a bunch of alert status stuff. They're doing some exercises tonight, so they couldn't come to the safety meeting. But I guess we're getting the TFR. It's either Thursday, definitely Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, 19th it's going to be over Anaheim.
Yeah. So, okay, any questions on this? Is there any doubts as to what it means and what we're doing? Okay. Oh yeah, I read a couple of articles on this, and sometimes on resurfaced runways the temperature can be 20 degrees over what the weather is calling also. This is something that you might want to keep in mind with that new surface. Safety tips: fly in the evening or early in the morning, and we don't have to worry about with the Coopers because they come in early in the morning. So of course they leave in the middle of the day, but no, they actually, and you guys, like today, you took off. You could, yeah, yeah. So no weather aircraft climbs more efficiently with its first increment of flaps. No, in other words, basically know your airplane, how it handles. Okay. Many airplanes do, but results vary. Sometimes it can add more lift. Be sure the aircraft weight is below 90% of the maximum gross weight. Reduce weight by taking on less fuel, like i.e. Big Bear. If you have passengers and picking up people, like some people do up there and don't even think anything about it, the fuel is cheap up there. So the tendency is to buy fuel up there with your airplane. Have 80% of your takeoff speed at runway's halfway point or abort. Eric Treeland sent one of the safety grams, and actually it's one of our PIFs on this. And his story is that he kind of knew something was wrong, and he wasn't at this point, but he tried to take off anyhow. And as he put it, it was close, real close. I mean, he got the plane off the ground and didn't hit anything, but that woke him up, thus writing that article for the safety gram. This was several months back now, I think. But Eric Treeland is the guy who's in charge of all aero clubs in the world. So he's really our boss. He is actually our true boss. So, avoidance: always calculate takeoff and landing distance when flying across countries, especially if you go in an airport you've never been in before. The runway is at least equal to your combined takeoff and stopping distance and no less than 2,000 feet. If you're stuck because of density altitude, then call Aero Club and wait it out. There's nothing wrong, I mean, we can make arrangements. If you start worrying about, oh my gosh, now Roger's going to charge me the 2 hours for every 24 hours I'm gone, we can talk about it. I may only charge you an hour and 45 minutes.
That's under the table to you?
Yeah. No, we can work things, obviously, when it's not your fault, and weather has to do with it, then, we will work it out. Okay, what I'm going to do is go real quick. And I'm doing this because it's summertime, and oh, come on. We are getting more people flying because it's summertime, springtime, and summer. So one of the things that we need to kind of keep our eyes on when it's not just only training. This is talking about training. This it's talking about going to and from, going to a training area and back. However, this could be at any of your flights. The big thing to remember that when you take off out of here, whether you're a student or not, anytime you go over towards Lake Matthews or over Hemet area or any of these places that's by San Jacinto or up in that valley there, you're liable to run into other airplanes that are students flying around. And it's we have several practice areas that we go to. Basically, we have two of them that you still go over to Lake Matthews and the other one over here. And the problem is, like with Lake Matthews, you've got at least 1, 2, 3, and counting us, 4 airports that go over Lake Matthews, or potentially.
There were only 2 other airplanes there today, this afternoon.
Right? Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just be aware of it. Announce all entries and exits to the location. Give position relative to known landmarks. I noticed that not everybody does that. You go over there and when you're just practicing with the T-34s, no matter what it is, just to get current, you'll notice, you'll look down, you see other airplanes. And not ever heard any of them ever say anything that they're there. Lake Matthews, if you're below 4,500 feet, they want you to be on 123.5, and you just do your announcements on that. Paris jump, watch out for that too, okay? You guys still, you don't necessarily announce it, but it is still something that,
It's on the ATIS.
on the ATIS, yeah.
Definitely be on the ATIS.
Yeah, watch out for that, because we were coming in on approach on the 141, C-141, and we're coming in on the ILS, and here's this guy coming right across, right towards us. And it was like, whoa, really? And of course, we sort of broke off on that. Actually, we didn't. We continued, because the guy kind of went down a little bit. Yeah, go ahead, Cody.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but if they say the soaring window is active, that means there's a good chance there's more than one jump plane in the air. Is that correct?
That's why it goes active, because there's normally 3 to 4 are flying actually up and down.
So if you see one and you think you're clear, you're not, check for number 2, number 3, number 4 up there.
And then, of course, there's our chart. There's Lake Matthews, and you got the dam up there, Homelands. You got all the whole local area. Everybody's pretty familiar with this, I think, except for the new guys. Give the location. Try to use the same route to and from the area, which basically you do that anyhow for the most part, because we have reporting points when we come into the base anyhow. Maneuvers flown at odd altitudes such as 1150 feet rather than at 1200 feet. Take an observer, of course. If you're just out there doing just to get your 90-day sortie or whatever, take somebody with you if you can. You can even take me to get me out of that place. Get me away from Bob. And other people too.
Is this up to date?
Yeah. So, we're in high traffic area, of course, and beware of the C-17s when they're doing their maneuvers. And of course the F-16s, they get launched, and we could usually hear the whistle blowing down here. So, we timed it a couple of times to see when they took off after that whistle went off. But sometimes they're slow, sometimes they're fast. So just be aware. We're in Southern California. Believe me, though, you guys have got your private pilot's licenses here in Southern California. Believe me, the rest of the nation is better. You get your license here, it teaches you how to watch out for other airplanes. And then when you go someplace else, still be diligent, but it's much better until you get to New York and Washington, D.C. and those places. The C-17 too, another thing, if you happen to be coming back from Lake Matthews and they're doing maneuvers with the C-17, the tower might make you go all the way around to the east side, just to keep you away from the C-17. And so that's more added time. I'd gladly take your money, but, you know, that's money out of your pocket, so, you know, request if they'll let you come on in or not. It depends where the C-17 is. Let's see, there is a NOTAM system at base operations. The tower will tell you when there's jumpers, and yeah, it's okay, we already did that. Okay.
Remember, everybody, summertime is here, it is getting hot out there. So when you start the motors up, get it warmed up quickly, and then taxi out. Don't let them sit on the ramp running engines, going through a whole long checklist. The engine's gonna overheat, we're gonna overheat
All right,
before
we've
you
got
get
some
off the
breaking
ground.
news to bring to you at this hour.
Talking
We've got
about
the written
this
report,
scan.
this is scanner
And
traffic.
as far as T-34s, we talked about last week, you know, the maintenance is coming up on them. I'm sorry we haven't had all of them out there, the opportunity for everybody, the T-34 drivers to fly. But, you know, this is one of the only places in California you can run a T-34, and there's a reason for that. The maintenance is a little
Yeah.
hard on them.
Yeah.
They're not easy to keep up, and these are rentals, they're not taken care of. When they fly, they don't put them in a hangar and work on them for the week. Next time they fly daily. So try to bear with us if you could for the maintenance wise. We're doing our best way, and we'll get them up as soon as we can. If not, I guess all I can say is, gotta be another place in California to rent them. I don't know where, but worth a shot.
Or out
Or
of
you can be
state.
like George. George, congratulations on your new aircraft, man. You did the right thing.
Yeah, go out and buy an airplane, yeah. Yeah, if we had the money, so anyhow. Okay, officially the meeting's over. I'll play this. If you want to watch it, you can, but I'm not going to make you stay and watch it. So, don't forget to sign the sign-in sheet to get credit for this, because you won't if you're not on it. And the next meeting is on the 20, huh?
Sign card.
Oh yeah, the signing card, yeah. Make sure, if you haven't done that, make sure you sign that. The next meeting is the 21st. Is it? It's on my slide, but I don't have it up there. I think it's the 21st of July. So have a happy 4th of July, and have a lot of fun. Get out there and fly, because we're not doing real well again this month. So hopefully we will have at least 555 back up.
We're about 11% in the hole for the year.
Yeah.
And
So
they're really scrutinizing it. That's some rumors, and I'm not gonna talk about it
Get us
now.
some airplanes to fly, we'll generate some
Well,
revenue.
you said that last time. That's what we're doing, aren't we? So if you got an issue, you talk to Colonel McCoy. Don't talk to me, talk to Colonel McCoy.
okay,
Not
and
out of my hands.
But don't whine to us that we're not flying, because
No, there's other aircraft that are available. I'm not just saying the T-34 is what you want, but we have 182s. We got the 182, the T-41As, and I got a T-41C. So there are other airplanes available.
okay, dues. Please, please, please watch your credit cards, okay? Because I'm getting a lot of rejects for people and credit cards are bouncing. Fortunately, most people pay, you know, within a reasonable time afterwards, but please keep your eyes on that, okay? All right, I'm done.
2 planes have crashed near New River Road. Unconfirmed reports right now, but we are hearing that 4 people are dead. Again, all of this information that we're getting is unconfirmed. We do know that one of those planes is a Piper single engine. It is registered out of Massachusetts. Right now flying over the street in our chopper is Jason Durant. Can you hear me?
Yeah, to go to the number. Okay, yeah, 'cause he's, now, he is flying with his outfit, so that's the only way you're gonna find out. Okay, I'll give him a call. Yeah, well, we've got that. Good.
Pretty much live
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Roger.
And, yes. On Sunday? Usually we see those guys.
We had the little gap there for him.
Yeah.
I think he might have thrown it in.
Well, he might have. Because, you know, the only thing. Well, there's two codes.
The one I used to know was the one for the door about 3.
Oh, but yeah, okay, that one's 245. Yeah, the other one is 457.
Yeah, that one will communicate.
Yeah.
That one I know.
Oh,
I just didn't know
okay.
that.
Oh, the other one's 245.
That one I just didn't know, because I'm already on the way up here. I might as well check and see.
Well, yeah, go ahead and check on it. Yeah, 'cause, it might be in there, it's possible.
I didn't notice it was missing until today. I was looking at my headset. I got my white one, but the green one is MIA.
Okay.
Density, altitude, variables. That's the video for the FAA video.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm the one that showed it at the I'm the one that showed it at the
Yeah.
I think it's damn cheap.
It won't take long because
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, when he tries to get in his car, he gonna know real quick that he done messed up. I'm putting in a formal recommendation. Here's my formal recommendation. Whining.
can I second that?
Oh my God. Yeah, because I'm like, you ain't got to fly to that airplane. There's airplanes out there today. If you love to fly, then there's other places to fly.
That's right. That's right. I mean, George Washington flies the 182, so is Trick and Tyler, so is the guys that fly the D-Tornado, they fly the 182. They do all that stuff, yeah.
Just in case you were
I know.
we're looking at the wreckage from three planes that we do have
All right, man. I'll see you on the weekend.
We have been doing something about that's unconfirmed, we don't know who it's with, but we've been hearing conflicting reports. 4 people dead, for probably 3 people have died from this. We do have now a really good line out in the field. Steve, do you have any more information on this?
Yeah. Oh, it's probably about 15 minutes or so.